Stephanie Milky here, aka Keto Mom, or often called mom, sis, Steffi, daughter, wife, aunt, and friend. Just like many of you, I carry a lot of titles. My favorite title is mom. I should probably say wife, which takes a lot of my time. But let's be honest, if you want to do something and do it well, you will make the time for it. Commitment is hard because we find ourselves overcommitted, but when you practice prioritizing, you will find out what is actually important and what you can let go. With the Keto Mom podcast, you will learn together how to manage our time, commit to the most important things in life, and I will equip you with the tools you need to feel qualified each step of the way. My name is Stephanie Milky, and welcome to the Keto Mom Secrets podcast. Hey everybody, welcome to the Keto Mom page. My name is Stephanie, and we are going to dive into this book, but I actually have some new books that I have not read through yet, but I just got them this weekend. I'm super excited, and I'm super excited to share them with you. So as you're tuning in, where are you tuning in from? I also would love to know one thing you're thankful for. Let's start our month. It's not a new month. There's one more day till the new month. Let's start our day and our week off with gratitude. If my daughter's feeding our dogs. So if you do not know me and I have not met you, I'm a mom of 4 girls. We are a homeschool family. We do have 4 dogs. At any point in time, you might hear some craziness in the background, and that is our life. And it's great. And so here on the Keto Mom page, I've been posting for 7 years. You can scroll through, you can look for recipes. There's no shortage of how to eat keto, low carb, anything to do with your health and fitness. And the power of your mindset is super important. So over a year ago, I started going through books together with you to help you understand that your mindset is so important. What you believe is what you're going to get. So if you believe that you can't, you won't. If you believe that you will, we will get there, right? Then there's the aspect of expectations and how long it will take. So here's the book that we have been going through. It's called At Your Best. For those who are needing help with time management or energy management or your priorities, this book is great. This book will help you in those areas. I just give you the very short highlights of what it's about, and then you can decide if it's a book that you want to dive into. Great stories, great content, a lot of work that you can physically go in and answer questions and do the work if you need help with managing your time, priorities, and energy. Now, this last weekend, excuse me, hold on, we had a guest come to our church. His name is Keith Craft, and he is a pastor in Frisco, Texas. Amazing. Like, I've known of Keith Craft. I know we have some friends that are a part of his mastermind. So he came, we did like a really small little event. We had some people on our team that joined us. Good grief. Good morning. Sorry. All right. All clear. So we had a great weekend, fun. Let me think of how I want to say it. I want to say like wisdom-packed weekend of listening and learning and doing some team building and collaborating. It was really fun. And so we got to listen to Keith Craft speak Saturday and Sunday. And it was incredible. It was incredible. And so, of course, my husband bought all of his books. And so here's one of the books I was going through this morning. And it's a book written by Keith Craft, but it's about his grandma's. He calls her his, I don't know if it's Mima. I don't know how he says it, but it's about her life lessons. So it was interesting. I was listening to him speak. If you guys don't know who he is, Keith Craft, an incredible pastor in Frisco, Texas. You can listen to him online, YouTube. And he had such wisdom at such a young age. And I was like, where did he get this wisdom from? Like, his parents are great. His dad was a police officer. I mean, he grew up in a good home. But as he told his story, it was his grandma that lived with him, that poured into him, that taught him, like, the amount of wisdom and knowledge that he had by the time he was 10, 11, 12. Unbelievable. So this book were little things that he learned, and I just flipped it open, and I was like, I'm going to read one thing this morning to them. And here's what I read, and I wrote it in the header of this video, and it says this: most people get more of what they don't want in life rather than what they do want because they never have decided what they actually want. So it's interesting because I think you're right. It's right. So many people will say just out of a whim, I'm like, what are your goals? What do you want? What are you hoping for? And either they don't know, or it's really vague. Like, I want to lose some fat. I'm going to lose some weight. All right. How much? Why? Why do you want it? And so I just flipping this open, I'm really excited to go through this book. I'm excited to read the stories, but that was just something that resonated with me as I was thinking of the Keto Mom page. I'm like, a lot of people don't truly know what they want. In general, they go, well, yeah, I want to feel better. Okay, why? Like, what does that look like for you? And so I wanted to read that to you this morning. There's another book that he has that I'm super excited to go through with my team. It's called Leadershipologies. And so this is more, I think, probably for leaders in business. I'm excited to go through this book. But I flipped through this one this morning and I read, beliefs are like the roots of a tree. The deeper they go, the higher the tree potentially grows. And I thought, beliefs are like the roots of trees. So what are you believing for? And what are your beliefs? Because sometimes people have such belief in the wrong things, right? I often have people will be like, I was born this way. I was told I would never amount to much. It's because these people spoke this into me, right? And so their beliefs are really rooted in the things that they grew up in, the environments, the people around them. I'm not saying that you don't have that, but you've got to figure out, like, why do you do what you do? Why do you believe what you believe? And if it's negative and it's not growing you, and if your tree that's growing and the roots that you have are from negativity and unbelief and like self-doubt and comparison, then we've got to cut that tree down. We've got to pull up those roots and we've got to start over. Part of the reason that we read and work on your mindset is we're going to start planting good roots. We want to understand what the truth is. I want you to understand the greatness that you have inside of you. All of that comes from working on your mindset, getting around great people, believing that you can, right? It boils to what he said, beliefs are like roots. So even bad beliefs take root. And so you could say you are where you are today because of your beliefs, because of the words you're speaking, right? Super important. I say this all the time. As I think, so I feel. As I feel, so I do. As I do, so I have. Starts with your thoughts. It's what you have. Negative thoughts are going to most likely give you not the results that you're wanting. Also, the opposite is true. Positive thoughts create positive emotions, create positive actions, which therefore you're going to get, in general, what you're seeking after. We're not talking about overnight success, but in general, the expectation of going after what you want with a mindset of, I can do it, right? So these books are great. I will share I don't know if we'll go through this book in general on the Keto Mom page. It's actually a really small, if you want to look at it, if you want to look it up, I'm sure you could find it online. Take a screenshot. I can tell if I'm going to like a book by scrolling through it and just reading the titles and then and I even like how a book is laid out. Like, I like to be able to get a quote or something to think about. I already know I'm going to love this book. I will share it with you in stories and take pictures and give you some insight if this is a book that you'd want. I'm going to tell you something. With the holidays coming up and Christmas, I've said this before, I like to give the gift of books for people's birthdays, for anything. And so if you're looking for some good books, I just did a live, it might have been on Friday, giving you tons of books and even suggestions of books to give for Christmas. I will revisit that and put it in the stories today. But if you don't know what to get people, because let's be real, most people buy what they want, and you're like, what am I supposed to get my mom or my grandma? A book. Get him a book. What's going on with his hair? Get him a book. Say, guess what? We're going to start investing in our mindset. All right, here's what we're reading today. All righty? Here's the book that we've been going through. I don't read you the stories, but here's the overview of the chapter. And actually, it was really great. Number one, everyone who calls you, who texts you, who knocks on your door and asks you for things is just doing what every human being does, trying to move his or her priorities onto someone else's agenda. So I had a really great conversation with some of my very good friends this weekend, and we were talking about priorities. That's what this book talks about. We were talking about not being overwhelmed in life, but really taking a look at things that you're doing, why you're doing it, and maybe why you might have to say no to some things because it doesn't align with your goals. Have you ever done that? Have you ever just taken some time and wrote out all of the things that you're like, all right, here's what I do in general during the week. Here are all of my yeses. Here's all of my yeses. And then you can go, oh my goodness, no wonder why I say I don't have time. No wonder why I might feel overwhelmed because I have too many yeses. And not all of those things align with the goals that we have in place for me or my family or the things that I want to achieve. So we did that. We were like, what are some things we're saying yes to that we don't need to? I learned this from a message I listened to yesterday from Keith Craft. And he said, true wisdom is to be able to decipher good from great. Like making a great decision, a great yes versus good, because there's lots of good things that you can do, but not everything is great. And not everything is your best yes, right? So if you find yourself saying, I don't have time, I don't have the energy to do it, my priorities are out of whack, I'm doing everything for everybody, you get to start changing that. This is the book that I'm doing right now. It's not really a devotional for those who are asking. You can always take screenshots. This is the book, if you're asking, that I'm going to go through. I mean, I'll probably read the whole thing today. All right, here's a couple more things to think about today. Nobody will ever ask you to accomplish your top priorities. They will only ask you to accomplish theirs. Frankly, you do the same, right? So again, let your yes be yes when it's needed and it aligns with your focus and your family's goals. You don't have to be everything to everybody for everybody. It's okay to say no. Most people spend their day reacting to everything that comes their way, which again lines up with your priorities. Just because it comes to you or it's something that just happens doesn't mean you have to say yes to. The wrong things will always want your attention. Most people spend 80% of your time. People spend 80% of their time on things that produce. You should be spending 80% of your time on the things that produce 80% of the results. Your results. I think there's a couple more. Saying no to good things allows you to say yes to great things. I love that because that's what I listened to the message this weekend. Was wisdom is truly defined between a good and a great. What is your great? What is something you should say yes to and something that you could but you don't need to right now? Ironically, saying yes to something good now will lead you to a no to something great later. All right. I think this book is a great book. Deciding what you want to do frees up time and energy for the things that you will do and want to do. Here's the idea. Your time is valuable, whether you think so or not. You are valuable. You are great. You have you. There's you yourself, and then anybody else that is in your family that I'm guessing you want to see better in life. You want to have better, achieve better, whatever that looks like for you. And I want you to understand that there's going to be outside people. If all we're talking about is your fat loss right now, if all we're talking about is fat loss and we're not talking about relationships or finances or, your mindset, there are going to be people that will tell you how you should eat. Okay, actually, let me rephrase this. You're going to be on a journey. And let's say you walk into your employee lounge and you're going to sit down and you might have your packed lunch and you're on a journey to better and you've chosen yourself to work on yourself and you're like, I'm going to the gym later. Hey, you want to go out for a drink? Actually, no. I actually work out in the evenings because that's the time that I physically have set aside. That is my best yes. And when somebody says, do you want to go out? Hey, want to go do this? Your kids call and they're like, I need something, but they probably don't really need it. Anything is going to try to distract you from the goals that you've set in place. You've got to know what that is. What do you want, and where is your time best spent? And people will say things like, oh, you packed your lunch. Oh, you must be in a diet. Ugh, you know that's never going to work. Why would you do that? Like, people that are not on the same journey as you, and if they aren't pursuing their best, they might not actually know they're doing this, but it's interesting how fast people will give words to what you're saying, what you're doing. That's never going to work. I've tried that. You're always going to be like that. Oh, you're born big boned, right? Oh, it's fine. Our family is this way. Or, oh, you know what? Good luck. All the holidays are coming up. I don't know why you're starting now. Wait till January. People will easily throw their words around, not even knowing. Like, I understand the power of my words, so I'm super cautious about what I say, but people don't understand the power of their words, so they just spew things out. And if you catch a hold of that, it can either make you quit, question yourself, like get frustrated, and then ultimately deter you from the goal that you had already set. So you have to know what you're wanting to go after, your best yes. Just because it's a yes or a good thing to do doesn't mean you have to do it. And have your priorities in place. Like, if you truly want fat loss, then you have to go, I need to start with my mindset. I probably should read a book. I need to get around some like-minded people. And then I need to get some coaching. I'm here to help coach you. And then I actually need to take the action on that, because oftentimes we gather so much information and we don't do anything with it. So, this is a great book. I would encourage you, if it's something that you really truly need to work on, your time management, go ahead and go grab the book and actually read through it and do the exercises. Otherwise, we're going to be going through a lot more. I don't know what we're going to, my husband got another book. It's something, I don't know where it's at. I'm going to look over some of the new books that I got. If it's a book that I'm like, man, we should do this in November, we probably wouldn't start till mid-November. But I'm really excited to go through this book. I will give you the highlights of this, but I bet you, I'm going to give you a rundown later today in my stories. So make sure you're watching the stories of this book. I bet you it's going to be a really great gift that you could give to your families for Christmas. So, all right. I love to read. I love to share. I hope you guys have an incredible day. As always, you can reach out to me. You can go to ketomomsecrets.com click on recipes, click on how to get started, click on mindset. We've been doing books for the last almost year and a half. So you can go ahead and learn from those books. You can reach out to me. If you want more ketones, Mom Fuel, we've got a super cool sale today to end the month. And so I drink them every single day. I'm drinking my favorite right now. I call it my Mom Fuel, but it's for anybody. It's an incredible, incredible tool, not a magic pill. But if you've never tried it and you actually want help, like an actual tool with your energy and your focus and fat loss and appetite control, hey, post ketones below and we'll chat. Otherwise, have a great morning. I'll come back on later. Send me a message if you have a question, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye.